Hello and welcome. I'm excited to meet with you and talk about transition planning for your child. Today I want to explain something called person-centered planning, or also known as PCP. This approach helps us make sure that every decision we make is based on your child's strengths, interests, needs, and goals for the future. We want your child to feel heard, valued, and involved every step of the way. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about what is person-centered planning. So person-centered planning is a team process that puts the student at the center of all decisions. Instead of adults making plans for the student, we work together with the student to plan for their future. We focus on questions like, what does the student enjoy? What are their strengths? What support do they need to be successful? And what are their dreams for life after school? This approach recognizes that every child is unique and deserves a plan designed specifically tailored towards just them. Why person-centered planning matters. So research shows that when students are involved in planning their goals, they are more motivated, they're more confident, and more successful in reaching those goals. Person-centered planning is considered a best practice because it improves students' outcomes and it helps teams make decisions that truly match the students' needs. This approach also reflects values that support a Christian worldview perspective and the CCCE College of Education academic program competencies, such as honoring each person's dignity, encouraging growth, and supporting human flourishing. In simple terms, we believe every child has a purpose, a value, and potential, and our job is to help them discover and develop those gifts. Now we're going to talk about how PCP supports student-driven transition planning. So transition planning focuses on preparing students for life after school, whether that includes college, a career, independent living, or community involvement. Person-centered planning makes this process student-driven, meaning the student's voice guides the plan. Instead of guessing what the student wants, we ask them directly and build goals based on their interests and preferences. This helps students develop independence, self-advocacy skills, and confidence in their future. Now we're going to briefly discuss the steps in successful person-created planning. So when person-centered planning is done well, it usually follows these 6 steps. The first one is getting to know the student. We want to learn their strengths, we want to learn their interests, and we also want to know what they might need. The next thing is building a team. So we're building a team that includes people who know and support that student throughout their academic day. Then sharing information and data. We have to review assessments, progress, and any observations that have been made. The next one is setting meaningful goals. So we want to make goals based on the student's vision for their future. That's why it's important to have the students a part of this process. Next is creating an action plan. So we have to decide supports, services, and the next best steps for this student. And finally, monitoring progress. We are going to be checking regularly to make sure that the plan is working. So who is a part of the transition meeting? So several people work together during transition planning, and each has an important role. The student, they share their goals, their interests, and their preferences. The parents or guardians, they provide insight about the student's strengths, their needs, and the life outside of school. The special education teacher, they explain the progress, the goals, and the support. General education teacher, they share classroom performance as well as observations. And then we have the related service providers, like speech or occupational therapists. They share evaluation data and they also share recommendations. Next is the school representatives or administrators. So they ensure services and supports that can be provided. And last but not least, outside agencies, when they're appropriate and they need to be used, they help plan for adult services or career supports. Together, this team combines information, data, and a personal insight to build the best possible plan for each individual student. In person-centered planning, the goal is simple. We want to create a plan that truly reflects who your child is and who they want to become. By working together, listening carefully, and focusing on strengths and goals, we can build a future that supports success, independence, and fulfillment. I'm looking forward to partnering with you and your child on this amazing journey.